All right, so we're going to draw this first Lego, this 2x4 Lego on Unit 2 Worksheet 1, Part 1. And so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to click Create Sketch in the top left. And then the sketch plane that we're going to use is the plane between the green and the red axes, which is the XY plane. So I'm going to click it, and that's going to change our perspective. So we're looking at it top down, two-dimensionally. Then I'm going to go and click the 2-point rectangle tool in the top left, and the first point is going to be on the origin, which is going to highlight with a blue box. Then when I move my cursor, I'll get these two text boxes in order to determine the width and length. So I'm going to type 2 in the first box, and I'm going to press Tab and click type 4 in the second box before I press Enter. And so we'll see now that if I zoom out, I have a 2x4 rectangle, and if I click Finish Sketch in the top right, it just looks like a rectangle. At this point, I'm going to click the house or the home button in my view cube section, and that's going to allow us to get an angled view, which is very helpful when we're considering a three-dimensional object. Next, I'm going to click Extrude, which is probably the most used tool in this course. When I click Extrude, what that means is it's going to take that two-dimensional shape and it's going to pull it into a three-dimensional space. And so I can use this blue arrow to click and drag, or I can just type the number into this text box, which if I look at the drawing over here, the height of the Lego is 1. So I'm going to click 1 and enter, and now I have a rectangular prism. The next thing we have to do is draw these cylinder bumps on the top of the Lego. And in order to do that, I need to draw all of these circles on the top before we extrude them. So unlike the first extrusion, now I'm going to right click on the top of my rectangular prism, because that part of the shape is where I want to draw this new sketch. And I'm going to click Create Sketch, and it's going to zoom me in onto that part of it. So I'm actually drawing on this level and not on the bottom on that XY plane like we started. So here I'm going to use the line tool, and I'm going to go 0.5 in up the edge of the shape. Instead of clicking the line tool, I can also type L, and that will make the line tool be selected for me. And then I'm going to go 0.5 inward as well. And then from the end of that line, I'm going to make line segments that are 1 millimeter long. I'm going to make sure that I move my cursor so that I can tell the program what direction I want the lines to go in, which is horizontally. Now, none of these lines are actually going to be extruded to make a three-dimensional aspect of the Lego, but all of them are going to help me plot my circles in the correct spots. So at the end of each of these line segments, we're going to put the center of the circle. And so when I click the center of the circle, then it asks me what diameter I want the circle to be. And for that, I'm going to click 0.65. So I can click the C key on my keyboard or click the circle button in the top left and make these circles. And I'm going to repeat that entire process on the top half of my Lego. So 0.5 from the top, 0.5 over, and then 1 over 3 times. Now see, I accidentally made a mistake there where this line is only 0.7 instead of 1. So if I double click this dimension, I'll then be able to put 1 into that space, and it'll resize that line. Now I'm plotting the circles again. And now that I have all of my circles, I'm going to finish my sketch, and I'm going to try to extrude. Now you'll notice that when I click the extrude button, it doesn't automatically extrude, or it doesn't automatically provide an arrow to me. because now there are many different sections that I could potentially extrude, including like outside of the circles. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of the ones that I want to give a three-dimensional volume to. And then I'm going to type in the measurement, which is 0.25. If I press enter, that will confirm what I typed, and so our block is finished. Now to save it, we're going to go up to the top left where it says File and click Save, and then we're going to name it. We're going to name it Unit 2 Worksheet 1, Part 1, and then you're going to put your last name in the name of this file instead of me. You can leave the default location as admin project, and then you can click the Save button on the bottom right, and that is all you need to do for this assignment.